Hello. We're going to get anyone in. Just have a quick wait and see whether anyone drops in or not. Welcome to the second part of this 3D printer series. I don't know how long this is going to be because I've left the dog over there sleeping, and if she decides to wake up and start causing a ruckus, that'll be the end of it. So fingers crossed. So this is about the only time I've got to try and squeeze one of these in. I'll do what I can, and hopefully it will go well. So first off, I've been told by Spidic, who's a member of our group, that we need to check the base. Now, apparently, underneath, you can't see it because of the base is in the way or something. You've got to look at the connection, the soldered connection. To see if it's any good. It's on about that yellow block there. It says something about a yellow block. Now, that all looks okay. Don't appear to be any problem that I can see. That yellow block seems okay. So I will leave that as okay. There's nothing I can see under there untoward. Apparently you've got to look for bad soldering, big fat soldering joints. Which don't help. Now we're going to pop this. Make sure you don't trap any wires. Could be on about this actually, this mains cable. That's a yellow block, but that's in there. You would have to take that off. Right, make sure there's no wires trapped underneath. Okay, so let's get these instructions out. Let's have a look at step one. And here we go. Right. Step one. So we've got a left and right. Now there's two of these, left and right. I'm assuming it's got to be the tall ones. It would make no sense at all for them to be the little ones, because it's going to be the uprights. I'll just pop them there a minute. And then it's saying we want M5 by 45. So when you're doing screws, M5 refers to the diameter of the screw. It's a 5mm screw by 45 millimeters long. So 4.5 centimeters long. And they are, thankfully, they are all separated in these packets, which is brilliant. I don't need that one yet. Now they look like, and there we go, it's labelled on the front, M5 by 45. There we go. The M5 play mat. I don't know what that means, but and of course there is a washer on each as it depicts, and it's saying we need 4 pieces. Now, is that 4 pieces each or 4 pieces for one? So initially I will get 4 out. Oh, washer's fallen off of that. There we go, 4 out. And let's see, let's position it the same as it is in the picture. That's what we want to do. Oh, word of warning. When you pick this up, do not pick it up by the bed. There is a very high risk of jamming your fingers underneath because it slides up and down. You need to be very aware of that because it's very easy sometimes when you're maneuvering it just to grab it like that, and all of a sudden the thing slides down and you could look at trapping your fingers. I haven't done it yet, but who knows? Right, step 1. Now they go up underneath. Okay. Well, it looks like that. So we're going to stand it on its end. Alright, just hold on a second. So we've encountered our first problem in that there is no underneath holes for them to go through. So bear with me a second. There is some on the end, however. There's on the end of that one. But they're definitely underneath on that one. So I've got that the right way. Yeah, got that the right way. Let me just... No, there is no hole underneath there. That doesn't make sense. Right, so we have our first conundrum. That goes there. So the shorter, saying shorter, longer. So shorter. Oh, right, I see. There is a right and a left, so be wary of that. The right side is the only side that's got holes drilled, and that's going to go in like that. It doesn't make any sense either. That's got a bolt in. Yeah, so that does have bolts that go in. Unless, no, that can't be right. No, that can't be right, surely. Right, we're off to a really good start here. We're flummoxed already. Right. I think it's the drawing that looks a bit odd. Okay, I know what it is. So on the drawing, that's where it's saying. Now to me, it looks like these are at the front here, but upon inspection they actually sit further back, so they sit there as opposed to here. I need to get that. My apologies. All right, apologies for that. Post that's just don't have the time to get these in right. So shorter, longer, and they're going to go on there like that. So I really wanted to do this live, but it may be that I'm forced where I'm going to have to do them recorded for obvious reasons. Once she gets a bee in her bonnet, she won't shut up. It will be a shame. The trouble with doing live is I'm completely restricted on when I can do it. Oh, there we go. And they're orientated to the right and left, and so I'm going to need the Allen key for that. Now they gave me a little toolkit, which is here. And that looks like a 5mm. It's not, it's like too small. That is so. I love the fact that they've given us ball joint Allen keys on the end, so that if you've got one in an odd position, you can go in at an angle and still tighten it up, which is great. It gives you a little bit more room. Right. Gotta watch that I don't drop this on me. The trouble is they make these way too long. Well, at least they'll be stable. Right, once I've got that in, I can. Oh, come on, find you. There we go. And then we can just tighten this up. Now I'm guessing we just need to nip it up, not we don't want to over tighten it and strip the threads. That would be a bad thing. Because sometimes aluminium doesn't have the strongest threads. There we go. That's that one on. And on this side, we've just got 2 holes at the bottom, which it says on the drawing go towards the bottom. And I believe, yeah, that's them. So let's move this further along and pop this on. Not got a lot of room, and I've got to be careful now that I don't break the TV, because there's a TV monitor just to behind where this strut's going, so if it falls forward, right, let's just come on. So I put that on there. Let's try and get this one in now as well. There we go. We're in. Now it's just a case of tightening that one up and that one up. There we go, just nip that up. You don't need to massively over tighten these because, as I said before, you will strip the threads if you're not careful. And that would cause a whole lot of problems because you'd need to rethread the hole a little bit bigger. So right, there's our 2 uprights in. No, it's not. Oh, I've put that one on upside down. This one is on upside down. That's these things do happen. Where's the I hope Bob's not watching. Oh, there we go. So I was about to say I've lost the Allen key. I can't believe I put that on wrong. I checked it 3 times as well before I decided to put it on. Just when you're unscrewing something that's quite long like this, take the weight off the slack so that as you're unscrewing it, you're not weighing down you're not pushing all the weight on that one screw. Right, there we go. That's better now. Let me just check. Yep, the holes are the right way. This one. Oh, no, that's not right because it's bent at a strange angle. So let me just try and, there we go. There we go. It's just, I just need to, I think that's it there. I think that's where the hole is. Right, there we go. Right. And then once you've got them on and you've tightened them all down, just go along each one and just give it a nip just to make sure that it hasn't moved any while you've been fiddling about. Right. There we go. That is the uprights on. Right. Then we move on to step 2. Now this is to put the power supply and the LED screen on. So the power supply, you need to check your country because you've got a 115 volt and a 230 volt switch just here. It needs to be on for the UK 230 volts. Right. And this has got to be put on the back of this with the power lead outwards, so it's going to sit that must be off the, yeah, right. So we need for this M5 by 8. So we're looking for 5 by 8 tiny little screws, M4 by 16, M14, M418, M525. They're quite short, stubby ones, so it's got to be these. M5 by 8. Excellent. So the M5x8s, they are for the front LED screen. So we'll pop them two down there. Leave the rest in the bag. I'm not pouring them all out. It's much easier to search through them like that. And then we want 4x20s, which I remember, I'm pretty sure that's them. No, that's 5x25, 4x16, 4x20. There we are. And this bag was actually open, so I don't know whether any have fallen out. Is there a quantity on the front? No. Right. This is going to sit. It needs to sit. This is the front. How I recognise it as the front, because in the drawings, this power supply and the little micro USB is at the front there. So I will now call that the front, so that it corresponds with the drawing. If this is perfectly square, I don't know, I probably would have had that with the right in that way, if that's possible. Maybe it's not possible to do that. Right. So make sure, yeah. There we go. Take a bit more care on these than you would with the other ones, because the threads on this will be a lot less strong than the ones on the aluminium bars. We're lucky with the Ender 3 because it's all made of this aluminium and steel bars. The most of the other 3D printers are acrylic, and they're not very stable, or they're not as stable. And I really need stability because we've got a train track opposite our house, and we get heavy freight through. So right, that's that one on. Now we'll put this is the LED panel, which I should attach now. It's a push button to enter there, and then you make your selections with the turn. I'm not going to take this off. I will leave that on temporarily as a protector, and it will get removed at a later point. So that is going to go on there at the front. I don't know if you can just about see. Let me just try and push that back a bit. Could have done with another camera on here. I have got another camera, but obviously I've got no way of showing you the two at the same time. That really would have been a benefit. Oh well. Let's get I'm just going to find roughly where these holes are. There's one. There we go. There we are. I see you. would really help if these screws were magnetic, but I don't know whether that causes a problem. So right. Right, there we go. Finally got one on. Damn, so let's try and line that up for that one. Nip that one down, and then hopefully that will make the second one go in a bit easier. There we go, right. Now then, this one should go in a lot easier. It doesn't help that I have shaky hands this morning. There we go. So that's the LD screen on and the power supply on. Step 3 is we've got 2 brackets. We've got 1 bracket showing on this. So let's find said bracket. And it looks a bit like something in this bag here. Yes. ZI. Well, that says Z axis limit switch, which it could be. And there's nothing else in here, so that must be it. Unless that's meant to be a ZL, Z limit switch maybe. So, with a lack of anything else, we'll put that one on. That appears to be the correct one. Strange, can't comment on the ISM YouTube account. Right, I'll take care of that, Paul. That's left over from the other day. I can't do it now, Paul, because I'm busy with this, but I'll get it sorted later on. Okay, it's just left over from before. Let me just quickly run through the rest of the chat in case there's any outstanding questions. Yeah, it is early for me. You're in Europe also, John Paul. Mark scale models, UK, 7 miles outside Liverpool. All right. Used to live in Holland in the 70s. Wow, that must have been a well. Yorkie, yeah. We've got 1 Yorkie and 1 Yorkie crossed with a Jack Russell. Right. Okay. Right. Let me pop this on. So this is a limit switch. So a limit switch basically is well, it's the limit. It stops something from going too far. So, for example, without this, wherever it goes, so it's going on the side here, so something's going to sit above it, and when it comes down, without this, it would just keep going down and it'd bang off the table or whatever is in the way. This acts as a stop. You must stop, and the minute that switch is activated, it will stop. And it's going that way on, and I'm guessing it's going to slide down. Just need to make sure, yeah, that one and that one, and it's just going to slide down to there. I don't think I'm going to tighten that up at the moment because it's going to need some adjustment. I'm going to take up a lot of the slack off it, and I'm guessing that's the lead for that, but we'll see. And then we've got 2 screws. Now we've got the long threaded rod going in by the looks of it in a minute. For what's the time? It's 38 minutes. So unfortunately, I've got a lot on today, so I'm going to have to call it a day there. It's a little short one. We've got quite a bit done actually. I know it doesn't seem it. Two uprights, the power supplies on, the LED screens on, and we've got the Z limit switch. In case you're wondering why it's Z, CNC machines and milling machines and things like that, they use X, Y, and Z as their axes. So X refers to, now I'm going to get this wrong probably. It's been a long time since I've done CNC. But X is, I think, left, Y is right or forward and back, and Z is up and down. And you enter numerical values. So, for example, this table is laid out as a grid, so to speak, and every tiny little area on it's got a value. So you would enter X 500, say, and it will go to that exact point. So we're going to leave that there. I am going to still try and carry on with the live build. I've got some things that I need to sort out. It's looking pretty good. I can't say what time they're going to come out. They're going to be pretty sporadic. They could be the evening. There could be a couple in a day. But we'll try and get it sorted. We've also got the electronics lessons coming up. I know there's some interest in them, so I am waiting on more parts to arrive before I start that. I don't really want to start that and then find out that I'm missing valuable components that I need to show you. Although that's probably going to happen anyway, but we'll see. I've got a bit of a sore throat as well today. It hurts, so I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in and watching. I hope you've enjoyed this so far. Obviously, there's much more to come when we start with leveling the bed, heating the bed, the extruder, and then once it gets going, we'll be looking at upgrades that can be done on a 3D printer, and then we're going to look at the aspects for modeling, what we can do with it to help with our modeling. You know, can we make figures? Are they good enough to paint, build? What is the value of the 3D printer? You know, vis-a-vis spare parts for your builds. You know, when something breaks or something snaps, then you know will I be able to run out a new part? All this and more. That's going to be in this 3D printer series, and I really hope you enjoy it. I really hope I enjoy it as well. But thanks for watching anyway, and I will see you all. A live show tonight, yeah. So we'll probably look at this on the live show again tonight. Might even do a bit more. And thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye for now.